Hey there, my name is Jacob. I am with Hippie Crim, and today we will be working on a tutorial to show you how to create vectors around unique shapes. The reason for this is that not everything's going to be a square or circle, and this will help you utilize your time and energy a lot better and doing your images on your project in a way that makes them pop out a little bit better. Now, what I've done already is set this up, and I'm at about 14.4 millimeters in focal point. Now, the reason why I have that is twofold. First and foremost, I'm working with my laser shield open today, and the reason why I'm doing that is one, to get video, and two, because I want a little extra light, so when I'm working on this node editing, I can see what it is I'm looking at. The other reason is that my project is going to be a meat cleaver for Thanksgiving. Now, that cleaver has a bit of an angled edge which slants down towards the bed a little bit. And to ensure that I'm at the best focal point, I wanted to go ahead and do this manually. That way I don't have any issues moving forward. So we're going to go ahead and refresh our background here. And this is what we're going to be working with today. Now, what a lot of people would do is they would come in, they'd grab a rectangle, they'd try to get it as close as possible to do their engraving. And what they would end up with is a huge area up here and on the sides that's just wasted time and energy. So let's go ahead and delete that. We're going to come to the left-hand side. We're going to grab that pen tool, and we're going to drop a node on each one of these points here, or each one of the main points. And it doesn't have to be precise, it doesn't have to be exact, because once we have these all laid out, we're going to come back in and we're going to move them around a little bit to make sure that we have everything exactly where we want it. So now that we have that, this one here actually looks really good. And one thing that you will notice is that it almost looks like a haze double edge right here. Now, the reason for that is because the camera itself actually sits on the back side of the laser and is looking towards the front. And when it sees this, it's seeing the edge of the blade and not just the top portion of it. So let's go ahead and come over here. We're going to grab this and just kind of set it in the center. I know that's more of a rounded edge, but we're going to be creating an inside outline, which is going to compensate for that little bit of area. So I got that. Come over here and grab this one. Just a few more to grab. There we go. So now that those are all pretty much where I want them, the way that we're going to work on this is we're going to click one of these, and then we're going to come up to the top to total asymmetry. Now what that's going to do is it's going to create these two little holders right here, and those will allow you to work around areas that you don't want to engrave. So like this handle right there, we don't want to engrave on that. We also don't want to engrave in this empty space right here. So if we grab these, all we have to do is move it just like that. So come over here. These sides right here are pretty close to where we want them, but I'm going to move this one up just a little bit and add a slight arch to the bottom of this so that it follows the arch of the blade. So we don't need this handle up here. So we're going to take that, we're going to delete it. But we are going to grab this bottom one here. So we started up at the top where the blade is actually engraved, or not engraved, but sharpened a bit. So I'm going to grab this other side here and move it up there as well. And that will allow me to come back and make sure that we're right here where we need to be in the center. There we go. So we got this piece up here, we got that one over there. If you wanted to, you could actually add a secondary node right here, and this node can be moved up to there. and this one over here, and that will also help with that angling a little bit. But it still looks like we have just a bit of a overhang here. But the reason for that is because this actually comes up before coming back down, and that's what's causing that distortion effect. So we'll grab this one right here. We're going to go ahead and give it the handles. Drop that right side. There we go. So it looks pretty close to where we want it. Now, what we're going to do is come over here. We're going to grab a circle, and we're going to create a circle to remove this hole. And then we have a little scalloped edge up here. Now, I've found that the easiest way to do this is just to create a couple little circles. So go ahead and copy those. And we want to make sure that we bring this edge down as well. So let's go ahead and there we go. So now that we have that, we're going to grab each one of these little circles back, click down up here, and I noticed they weren't quite big enough, so we're just going to enlarge those slightly. Grab that, bring it here. Now again, I'm not trying to be exactly perfect with this just because I'm creating a outline that's on the inside of it. But if we take every single one of these, we could then unite them so it becomes one. Whoops, we didn't want to do that. So we can unite each one of these individually. And then we can take those and subtract them from the other piece. So that'll give you that scalloped edge. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and click just the circle right here. Now the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to do a quick framing, and that will let me know exactly where I'm at for that circle to make sure that it's in the right place. So to do that, we're going to open this up real quick. And we're going to click just this circle, which will show on the blade. Okay. Now that we have this part of our vector set up, what we want to do is click just this circle right here. We're going to come over to framing. We're going to make sure that we're set to outline, and then we're going to frame. Now what that's going to do is create an outline around just the circle itself to make sure that we're lined up specifically with the circle and the blade there. So let's go ahead and frame that out. I'm going to check this out here. All right, great. Well, now that we know that our framing is where we want it at, what we need to do is remove this circle from the rest of the vector. So we're going to highlight this whole piece. We're going to come up to the top and we're going to do subtract. So now you can see that all that wasted space is no longer going to be wasted. Now, what I would like to do is bring this in just a little bit. So to do that, we're going to do an outline. Now I'm going to do my outline at negative 1.5 because if I go to negative 2, I'm going to have a couple issues right here where it completely closes off, and I kind of want it to have that cleaner look. So now that we have that, we're going to copy that. We're going to come over here to the side, and we're going to go ahead and paste that over here. And we're going to import our image that's going to go onto here. So I created an image of wild turkeys with XTool's AI image protocol. And we're just going to bring all of this together and create a mask. So one of the things that you do need to make sure is that you click off on any white space so that you don't have all of it selected when you're resizing this. Otherwise, there is a very good chance that you're going to resize your vector as well as your image. So zoom in a little bit, make it easier for people to see. Make sure that we're completely within the image on both sides. And we've got to make sure those turkeys are in there because this is for Thanksgiving. And now that we have those, we're going to go ahead and say done. And we're going to move that right back over where it was. There we go. So now that we have our image, that's where it's going to sit on the blade. We want to make sure that we come over here and turn our vector off for output. We don't want a score line around anything. We just want to have a good image. So we can go ahead and select that and hide it as well so you don't have to see it. Now, before we do any engraving, this image is being engraved on a black knife. So what we need to do is change it from a standard image to a negative. So to do that, we're going to click it, we're going to come up, and we're going to invert that image. So now that that image is inverted, we can come over here, and I already have some settings saved. We're looking at a dot duration of 100, a power of 65, a DPI of 500, Jarvis bidirectional, and most importantly, a frequency of 60. Now that frequency of 60 is going to help give it almost like a frosted look as opposed to a cleaned off bare stainless look. So it looks like everything is ready to go. We checked, we made sure that we have our image set to negative. We checked our framing, make sure that where we're at on there. Now this is where I'd normally tell you to make sure you close down your shield. Got to be it safe. Get ready to hit that button, but I'm wearing my glasses so that we can do a video of this. I'm going to swap on over to the camera and we'll get to the next part here. All right. So this is what it looks like on the bed right now. I have a couple things set under it to try to keep it as flat as possible. I am going to set this over to processing. And you'll notice it's going to set up over here to our button. You'll see the image pop up over there. We're going to go ahead with our safety glasses on, hit that start button. All right, there we go. Looks like we're completed at 9 minutes and 41 seconds. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out or post in one of the groups. Tag me, I should see it. But until then, I hope this helps somebody out. And I hope you have a great day and a great holiday.